The ancient Olympic Games, a celebration of physical prowess, athleticism, and cultural significance, are considered the birthplace of many of the modern sports we know today. Yet, few understand the true origins of these legendary games, the profound rituals, and the ways in which they shaped not only the ancient Greek world but also the foundations of modern athletic competition. What began as a tribute to the Greek gods has evolved over millennia into the global spectacle we now call the Olympics. This journey to the origins of sport is a fascinating tale of dedication, reverence, and human ambition. It begins in the heart of ancient Greece, in the city of Olympia, where the first games were held in 776 BC. But it wasn't just about who could run the fastest or throw the furthest. The games were about honoring the gods, especially Zeus, the king of the gods in Greek mythology. Olympia, an idyllic location nestled in the Peloponnese, became a place where athletes and spectators gathered not only to compete but also to worship and honor the divine. The ancient Greeks believed that the physical prowess of athletes was a form of divine blessing, and that those who excelled in the games were favored by the gods themselves. These games were more than just sporting events. They were religious festivals, with sacrifices and rituals taking place before the competition. At the heart of the games was a sense of unity. Not just among the Greek city-states, but with the gods themselves. The ancient Olympics were originally a one-day event but gradually grew over time. By the 5th century BC, the games had expanded to include a variety of events, and they were celebrated every 4 years, making them one of the most anticipated and prestigious events in the Greek world. The athletes who competed in the games were typically free men who had trained their entire lives for the honor of participating. They didn't compete for money or fame, but for the glory of their city-state and the honor of being crowned victor by Zeus himself. These athletes underwent rigorous training, often starting from a young age, and were dedicated to achieving excellence in physical contests. Some events were simple foot races, but others, such as the pentathlon, required a combination of different skills, including running, jumping, throwing, and wrestling. These multifaceted events reflected the Greeks' admiration for the ideal of the well-rounded individual, someone who excelled in both physical strength and mental discipline. Yet, while the games were predominantly about athletic competition, they also embodied the larger cultural values of the Greeks. The games were a way to showcase Greek ideals such as honor, respect, and beauty. As a result, the ancient Olympic Games became an essential part of Greek culture, shaping their sense of identity and social cohesion. Every 4 years, city-states would cease hostilities, and the Olympic truce would take effect, allowing athletes and spectators from all corners of the Greek world to come together without fear of war or violence. The games were a unifying force in an otherwise fragmented world. As the games grew in stature, so did the competition. Athletes from across the Greek world would come to compete in events like the Stadion race, which was a short sprint, and the Hoplodromos, a race where athletes ran in full armor. The Hoplodromos, in particular, was a testament to the warrior ethos of the Greek world. It was a race not just of speed but of endurance and strength, where athletes had to wear their armor and shields, representing the soldiers who fought in the Greek wars. Another event that grew in importance was the Pancration, a no-holds-barred combat sport that combined elements of boxing and wrestling. This brutal contest showcased the warrior spirit of the ancient Greeks and was one of the most popular events in the games, but despite the games' growing popularity, they were not without controversy. While they were meant to celebrate the glory of the human body and athletic achievement, the Olympics were also a product of the Greek social structure. Only free men who were citizens of a Greek city-state could compete in the games. Women were excluded from both participation and attendance, with the exception of a few priestesses who were allowed to witness the games as part of their religious duties. This exclusion of women from the games reflected the gender roles that dominated ancient Greek society, where men were celebrated for their athleticism and women were relegated to the domestic sphere. However, there was one woman who made history at the ancient Olympic Games, Kallipateira, a woman who disguised herself as a man in order to watch her son compete in the games. When she was discovered, the officials were so impressed by her bravery and devotion to her son that they allowed her to attend the rest of the games. This moment was a rare exception to the rules and reflected the deep cultural significance of the games for the Greeks. The end of the ancient Olympic Games came in 393 AD when Emperor Theodosius I, a devout Christian, banned all pagan festivals. With the rise of Christianity and the decline of traditional Greco-Roman religions, the ancient Olympic Games fell into obscurity for over 1,000 years. Yet, the legacy of the ancient Olympics would not be forgotten. The Games inspired the revival of the Olympic movement in the late 19th century, when Pierre de Coubertin, a French educator, dreamed of recreating the Games to promote international unity and peace. In 1896, the first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens, Greece, bringing the spirit of the ancient Games back to life. The modern Olympics, however, are a far cry from the original Games. Today, they are global events, with athletes from every corner of the world coming together to compete for the honor of representing their countries. The competitions have expanded to include a wide variety of sports, from swimming to gymnastics to basketball, and the Games have become a symbol of global unity and peace. The ancient Olympics, in contrast, were a far more localized event, with a focus on the Greek ideal of individual excellence and honor. But despite the differences, the core values of the ancient Games, honor, athleticism, and cultural pride, continue to resonate in the modern Olympics. These values remind us of the profound role that sports and athletic competition have played in human history. The ancient Olympic Games were not just a spectacle of physical prowess, but a celebration of human potential, unity, and the pursuit of excellence. They reflected the values of ancient Greece, where the ideal of the well-rounded individual was held in the highest regard. Through these games, the ancient Greeks honored the gods, celebrated their physical abilities, and inspired future generations to strive for greatness. In modern times, the legacy of the ancient Olympics continues to inspire athletes, spectators, and nations. The ancient Games remind us of our shared human heritage and our ongoing quest for excellence, both in sport and in life. So, the next time you watch the Olympics or compete in an athletic event, remember that you are part of a tradition that has spanned centuries and transcended cultures. You are participating in a ritual that began thousands of years ago in ancient Greece, where the pursuit of athletic excellence was intertwined with the worship of the gods and the belief in the potential of human achievement. The Olympic Games are a testament to the power of sport to unite people, transcend boundaries, and inspire greatness. From the humble beginnings of a small festival honoring the gods, the Olympics have become a global phenomenon, a celebration of human spirit, perseverance, and the enduring pursuit of excellence. And it all started in Olympia, a place where athletes, spectators, and gods gathered to honor the ideals of physical and mental excellence. Today, as we continue to celebrate the Olympic Games, we honor not only the athletes but also the rich history and culture that has shaped them. The ancient Olympics may have been a reflection of their time, but their spirit lives on in the modern Games, reminding us of the eternal values of honor, courage, and the quest for greatness that transcend time and place. The ancient Olympic Games were a cornerstone of ancient Greek culture, and their legacy endures to this day. They remind us that sport, at its heart, is not just about competition, it's about pushing the limits of human potential, inspiring greatness, and celebrating our shared humanity.